What's happening, people? This is Rohit here, and I'm back with another podcast. And this one is about volunteering at JBJ Soul Kitchen. I completed 1 year of volunteering. I mean, I cannot even believe that it's been 1 year, and that just went so fast. And it's also about what I have learned throughout this process in this 1 year of how much I have loved volunteering, the kind of message that they are trying to convey, what they are trying to address, the message of food insecurity. I mean, how important that is for college students here. I mean, I'm the JBJ Soul Kitchen ambassador as well as the pantry on campus ambassador. So for me, the message of addressing food insecurity is close to my heart, because I remember when I first moved to Just City, I was like, in 3 days ate just 1 or 2 meals, and that was not even like proper meals, and that was to save money. And so many other factors are there, obviously. And then you're having a big appetite, you're trying to eat, do all of these work, so there's a lot of factors which go into this. So let's start from the beginning, how I got the opportunity and what actually happened. I'm new to Rutgers, Newark, and I was volunteering regularly every Friday at the pantry. And then I knew that the restaurant was there, but I never actually went ahead, and it looked empty. And you also have to remember that this is right after COVID. So a lot of people are still getting used to the on campus lifestyle after coming from the pandemic. And then I realized, okay, that's there. And one day they did not have much to do at the pantry. So they took me to the restaurant. They're like, two volunteers, you can come to the restaurant and you can do it. And then I went there, I did some silverware, and I was asking a lot of questions about the restaurant, what they are trying to do. I'm like, oh, fancy restaurant, why aren't people coming and using? They were like, we just started, so obviously it takes some time to get gain traction, and all those factors were there. But after, I'll actually start coming and volunteer here. And that was my mindset for the first 9 or 10 times. I was like, every single time. I mean, it's open from 11:30 till 2 p.m. And this was, I'm talking about spring of 2023. So this is like February of 2023. So that's when I started volunteering there. Like every single time, regularly, I'm doing this. And after silverware, I would do it and I would not eat at all. And then I would go. And then after that, I would come the next day, I will clean all the tables. And then after eating, you're basically volunteering, right? You're not getting paid. And this is an unpaid position. There's just nothing. And when I started, I was the only volunteer. So that's a different thing. And there's a lot of other factors. I was in my own mindset, ego, all those other factors, which, I mean, intersectionality of what I wanted to do at Rutgers, Newark. And I would complete 7:30 to 11:30. I would complete my work shift at IT. And then I would be in a different mindset. You know what? It's like so much calls, you're attending calls and you're addressing all those different factors. And then right when I want to relax, no, I'm actually coming to 11:30 to 2. I will be there at JBJ, and I would volunteer and I would help whatever is needed. For me, I actually realized that I like that fast-paced lifestyle of a restaurant. And there are so many other factors. It's not like I was the only student, so that for me was like a safe space. You know what? I'm getting the space just for myself, and that was my way of addressing food insecurity on campus, as well as my way of showing my love through food as a love language to the Rutgers community. There are so many other things like that. You know what? Small messages like that. And then one day, Mike was one of the volunteers, and that time we had Michael DiGirolamo, and Chelsea, and those two were the coordinators at the restaurant. Mike was like, you know what, you should eat and go, you should eat and go. I was like, no, I will save up and then I will get people. And that's exactly what I did later as well. But in the beginning, he was also telling me, you know what, you should at least taste. That time what I did was, there's like 3 protein options. There are so many other 2 starter options, 3 protein options, 2 dessert options. So I was like, you know what, just give me a bit of each and I would ask in a plate. And then that's how that would start to be my lunch as well. So now that dish is termed as Rohit special when other volunteers want to eat something like that. So that's how the tradition actually started. So yeah, definitely grateful for something like that, having that safe space. And for me, you don't realize that. See, yesterday I was at home. I ate one at morning, one at lunch, and then I need to eat something every 1 hour. And then you're having a pantry at home, that all those dishes are getting over fast. So I don't actually realize it. And that's when I realized that I need to be grateful for JBJ Soul Kitchen. For last 1 year, it was helped my mental health. Like I didn't have to think about food at all. Food was taken care of. That's one factor which is less remote. I have other important things to take care of, like academics and job search. So having that food factor removed was actually a huge relief, because Yesterday I was sitting at home, I'm doing all my work, I was thinking of food, oh, what to eat, what to eat. That was the only thing. But whenever I'm on campus, JBJ Soul Kitchen is there. I'm getting good food and I'm getting to taste different cuisines every single week. That's like a win-win scenario. I remember in the first day when I went there, after Silver, you know what? I should get that shirt. And then Chelsea, one of the coordinators, like, no, that's only for staff members. I was like, fine. But I remember last year, after the spring semester, that was the last day of spring semester. I realized, summer I have to cook and all that. But after volunteering, I got a shirt from. That was like, we are getting so many shirts on campus, but getting that shirt was so precious to me that it felt like, I actually work for JBJ Soul Kitchen, and that it says staff at the back. I'm like, I've actually uploaded a JBJ Soul Kitchen volunteer video that's like taken way long back. It's very different when I look at the video now. In that, I actually explained how happy I was and how important it was for me to get that shirt. You should go ahead and watch the video. That's just amazing about volunteering. And then now times changed after fall. I thought might be my last semester. Now I felt more like, it's about passing of the torch. Like, so many other volunteers coming there. Earlier I was the only volunteer, so for me it was more like safe space, as well as I get to talk to the staff coordinators and then the chef, and I would just stay there and talk to them. Now we have so many other staff members, and now that this is my final semester, this is spring of 2024 final semester, now it feels like it's like the passing of the torch. Like, there's so many other volunteers, I can maybe take a step back. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I feel a quality of good leader is also to start leading the other people. You know what, they can also do it, why do I have to? So that's where, I realize how much I love working in a restaurant around food. That's the main thing. I am getting to be around food and getting to eat all those cuisines. And there were so many other small factors. I remember one of the days both the staff coordinators left, and then I was the only person there, and I was still new. I was still getting used to expediting the process, trying to get through the whole restaurant. But those are the factors where I realized that, stepping up to the occasion, that's what they say. And I was like, stepping up to the occasion, I was like, tuck, tuck, tuck. 3-4 people, volunteers were there, new people from the gourmet dining. These are actual staff members, and I was directing them, do this, do that. I realized how much I loved leading a group of people. And you don't have to, there are some situations where high pressure situations, and then I can take care of this, and you're doing it in calm manner, testing different leadership styles, talking to different coordinators, getting to know about US, getting to know about restaurant business. I never knew how you always go to a restaurant, have a good time. But now when you think of the behind side, behind the scenes, there's so many other factors of how it is named, how the tables are named. I'm getting to learn all of this, and get already you're nice and humble to all the waiters. That's like, oh, you need to be nice. All that is fine. But when you do this kind of work, that's when you realize the extra respect is also coming in. I'm like, that's interesting for me too. And then trying to fill up the tables last spring, after all this volunteering that I did, I've tried to get people in. But then there's also still the stigma around food insecurity, also about JBJ Soul Kitchen restaurant. That's what I talked to Dorothea. She's one of the founders. John Bon Jovi Soul Foundation. Under them, JBJ as well as his wife Dorothea, they started it. And getting to talk to Dorothea, I haven't met JBJ, but talking to them and talking to the mission of why it was started, and then they have a few other colleges as well. And it's just wonderful opportunity. I wish a lot of other students also start using this at Rutgers, Newark. Right now, that's where I'm volunteering. But doing this as part of volunteering itself, like, there are people who would want to do it, there are people who do not. But right now I feel a tide is changing. It's not like how it was when I first started. Now we have a lot more volunteers. It's a win-win scenario. I love the chef. Now we have a dedicated chef at JBJ, Minali. She's amazing, and she always gives me a lot of food. I'm like, I love food, and that's how much I love eating. And then getting food from JBJ, one factor removed, that's just amazing. And I love Mike. I remember in between I had to ask for a recommendation, and Mike, and I just went ahead and asked Mike and Gina, she's the other volunteer coordinator, and they're like, anything for you, sure, whatever is. I'm like, that's how much of love is being showered on me. I'm just grateful for the kind of love that I have been receiving on campus from JBJ itself. For me, when I think of Rutgers Newark, one of the prime factors of why I actually liked Rutgers Newark and what made it so successful in a way for me is JBJ Soul Kitchen, because the food factor is removed. Yes, there are so many other events happening, but for lunch, from the last 1 year, all I've been doing is eating at JBJ Soul Kitchen. I have never brought lunch on to campus from the past 1 year. So for me, I'm just grateful for the kind of that. It's just amazing. 1 year completed, so many teachings. I'm like, this is something I'm going to inculcate in my life. These are kind of life lessons that are really important. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.